Hello everybody, welcome back to Boost Your Income with Bootstrap to WordPress, and in this lecture we're going to be downloading the final course files. Alright, so in this lecture I have provided a link to download the Bootstrap to WordPress final course files. Once you've went ahead and downloaded that asset, you will be delivered a zip file. And that zip file, if you open it up and unzip it, it'll give you a folder. And that folder will look a little something like this. It should have 4 folders within it. As time goes on, I will likely add more folders, so this lecture might be slightly out of date in the future, but not so much. I'll make sure to update the course files so you can go back and re-download them if there are any new assets or folders that you would need to or would like to download. So at the time of this recording, we have A, B, C, and D. A is download Bootstrap, and I provided Bootstrap 3.2.0. B is download WordPress, and I have provided WordPress 4.0. So a little note on that. Once we get into the development of WordPress, you have to download WordPress in order to work with it. So at the time of this recording, we will be using WordPress 4.0. I suggest using WordPress 4.0 only for the duration of this course. Then what you're going to want to do is update WordPress if you have a newer version of WordPress, because it's always important to update WordPress. Then check to see if everything still works. Sometimes when WordPress makes updates, a few bugs will appear. And while I'll do my best to be on top of those major changes and let you know if there's anything you need to do in order to make sure your website is up to date. And when I say website, I mean the website we're going to be building. It will also be your challenge to see if you could squash those bugs yourself. C, we have final static website. There's a folder in here called B2W static, and that is the static website. That static website has all of the HTML templates and assets that we'll be using to start our Bootstrap static website. So we have our index, we have post resources, blog, and contact. And then in our assets folder, we have CSS, fonts, IMG for image, and JS. You might recognize that the JS, fonts, and CSS folders are basically the Bootstrap files that we downloaded. There are a few modifications in here. We have a custom CSS file, which is not included in the Bootstrap download. We have a folder called Font Awesome, with a couple folders within there, and that is for the custom icon font we'll be using for this course. Pretty cool, we'll get into that a little later. The images, we have all of the image assets that we'll be using for the website, and I recommend just grabbing those because I don't have a PSD file with these assets for you. We're just going to be focusing on the development, not the design aspect. So go ahead and take these. You'll find them in the images folder within the assets, and we'll get to that once we start coding. JS, we have a main.js, that's also new, and jQuery. We'll get into that a little later. Don't worry about it right now. Just trying to show you what's in our course files. So recap, A, B, C, and D. A is Bootstrap, the version we're using for this course. B is WordPress, again, the version for this course. C, final static website, that's all the final assets. And then D, miscellaneous. So right now there's only one file in here, the Bootstrap to WordPress information architecture or wireframes and sitemap. You could see here. So go ahead and just, check that out if you're interested, just to see how to do a wireframe. This folder will likely be updated as time goes on. So at the time of the recording, there's only one file, but maybe when you download it, there might be 6 files. All right, so that is the course files. So go ahead and download those and we can get started, because in the next lecture, we're going to be setting up our project environment. So making sure we get everything sorted out. So once we start development, hopefully we worked out the initial kinks. Okay, see you there.